Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Nigamakalpa tarorgalitam param sukamakadam ritadiva samvitam vivita bhagatam rasamalayam mohuraurasikavu vibhavukaha Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim sarasatim vyasam tato jayam budhirayet Nashtaprayeshu videshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naistike Ete chamsakala pumsam krishnastu bhagavansayam indriyari vyakulam lokam hridyante yoge yoge. So we're reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 10th chapter, text number 2. Sri Praradu Vacha Mam Pralobhaya Utpatya Saktam Kameshu Tair Varai Tatsangam Bhito Nirvinom Mumukshus Tvam Upashritang Sri Praradu Vachang Mamam Pralobhayotpatyang Saktam Kameshu Tairvarahai Tatsangabito Nirvino Mumukshustvam Upashritang Sri Praradu Vachang Mamam Pralobhayotpatyang Saktam Kameshu Taivarai Tatsangapito Nirvino Mumukshustvam Upashritaha. Sri Praradu Vacha. Prahlad Maharaj said to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Ma, please do not, Mam, me, Pralobhayam, allure, Utpatya, because of my birth in a demoniac family. Saktam, I am already attached. Kameshu, to material enjoyment. Tai, by all those. Varai, benedictions of material possessions. Tatsangabhita, being afraid of such material association. Nirvina, completely detached from material desires. Mumukshu, desiring to be liberated from material conditions of life. Tvam, unto your lotus feet. Upashritaha, I have taken shelter. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation. Prahlad Maharaj said, My dear Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, because I was born in an atheistic family, I am naturally attached to material enjoyment. Therefore, kindly do not tempt me with these illusions. I am very much afraid of material conditions, and I desire to be liberated from materialistic life. It is for this reason that I have taken shelter of your lotus feet. Purport. Materialistic life means attachment to the body and everything in relation to the body. This attachment is based on lusty desires for sense gratification, specifically sexual enjoyment. Kamai stai rita jnana. When one is too attached to material enjoyment, he is bereft of all knowledge. Rita jnanaha. As stated in the Bhagavad-Gita, those who are attached to material enjoyment are mostly inclined to worship the demigods to procure various material opulences. They are especially attached to worship of the goddess Durga and Lord Shiva, because this transcendental couple can offer their devotees all material opulence. Prahlad Maharaj, however, was detached from all material enjoyment. He therefore took shelter of the lotus feet of Lord Nrsingadev and not the feet of any demigod. It is to be understood that if one really wants release from this material world, from the threefold miseries and from Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi, birth, death, old age and disease, one must take shelter with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For without the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one cannot get release from materialistic life. Atheistic men are very much attached to material enjoyment. Therefore, if they get some opportunity to achieve more and more material enjoyment, they take it. Prahlad Maharaj, however, was very careful in this regard. Although born of a materialistic father, because he was a devotee, he had no material desires. Anyabhilashita sonyam. Om ajnanat timirandasya jnananjana salakaya chakshurunmritam yanam tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sapadantikam Bandeham Sri Guru Sri Yotabadagamanam Sri Guran Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagarajatam Sahagana Raganatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Satvaitam Savadutam Parjana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishagandvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyevacha Paditanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare. So here Prahlad Maharaj is speaking to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, offering his obeisances unto him. And as is natural for a devotee taking the humble position, although we know, and Prabhupada has explained also in the next purport of the next verse, that Prahlad Maharaj is a Nitya Siddha devotee, eternally perfect devotee, always engaged in the service of the Lord, but for the purpose of teaching us, so in the pastime also of the Lord, he is appearing in the beginning, also the previous life, just like an ordinary person to show how we may perform devotional service. But here also he's explaining, so that I was born in an atheistic family. So that means in an atheistic family, where they are not worshipping the Lord, it is very difficult. It is practically not possible to worship the Lord. But because of his being an eternal servant of the Lord, and the previous Purva Samskara is there, so then he was naturally inclined, and he was destined to be fully engaged in devotional service, and to then teach also even to the conditioned souls born in atheistic families. And as we know, Prahlad Maharaj, so when his mother was pregnant, so the demigods, they attacked the demons as Hiranyakashipu was performing tapasya, and they captured his mother, Kayadu, and wanted to take her to the heavenly planets and then wait till Prahlad was born, till the child was born, and then kill him. But then Narada Muni, the great pure devotee of the Lord, so he knew, he's Trikalagya, he knows past, present, or future, by the mercy of the Lord. So he knew that that child in the womb is a great person, a great devotee. So therefore he stopped the demigods and told them, no, I will take care of the child, of the mother and the child, and Sisi Gonitai, Sisi Krishna Ram, Sisi Radha Shama Sundar Ke. And which he did, and then when he was 5 years old, having, of course, spoken the transcendental message, and which Prahlad Maharaj was able to hear even while in the womb. And then as he was also born, then he got instructions from Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj got instruction from Narada Muni. So, and then everything so was revealed to him by the transcendental arrangement. And then he was preaching to his classmates, who are all demons, and he made them practically devotees. And being then very angry at him, his father was ready to kill him. But he was always protected by the Supreme Lord. And then Nishingadev, so he appeared to protect his devotee and to kill this great demon Hiranyakashipu, who got benedictions from Brahma, the first created being in this world. And so he wanted to become immortal, which is not possible. So then, after being killed, so Nishingadev, so in his half-man, half-lion form, so he was very angry, and he killed so many of the associates of Hiranyakashipu. And even the demigods, they were not able to appease him. So then they asked Prahlad Maharaj to come, please, appease the Supreme Lord, because he came to protect you. So then Prahlad Maharaj was there in front of Nishingadev, and being blessed by Nishingadev, he was able to speak very beautiful prayers. And here, he's offering respect to the Supreme Lord. He's taking shelter. I'm taking shelter of you. Upashritaha. And so Nishingadev wanted to give him some blessings. Svarai, Var, Ashiravad. So the Supreme Lord or the pure devotee are ready to give blessings to the sadakas who have taken shelter of them. But the devotees who are trying to come to the highest level, Anyabhilashita Shunyam, of pure devotional service, they will not desire anything for themselves, but simply they are desiring to serve Krishna. Anushilanam, as Krishna wants. Krishna Anushilanam. Anukul bhav, favorable. So, therefore he clearly explained that I do not desire any of these. And then he was saying, I'm also afraid of this material condition, and I want to be liberated from this material condition. So even the pure devotees, as we know, even Srila Prabhupada, the pure devotee of the Lord, it happened also that he cried sometimes in front of the Lord, and then explained to the devotees that Maya is very strong. So we have to, every day we have to pray to the Lord, to the spiritual master, and take shelter of Guru Garanga and Krishna to be protected from the external energy of the Lord. Upashritaha, Sharanagati. So we have to take shelter. In the beginning, so we follow the process given by the spiritual master, but then unless and until we are in the transcendental platform, free from the three modes of material nature, it is actually not possible to be fully surrendered to the Lord. It is partial surrender, but at least we should try to surrender to the Lord to the best of our ability. And then by the mercy, seeing our endeavor, by the mercy of Guru, Gauranga and Krishna, we may be able to fully surrender and to be fully pure in consciousness. And then we can actually properly serve the Lord on the transcendental platform. And then we can properly help others to become free. But in any case, in any situation, we should try our best to advance as much as possible and try to help others also. Sarva bhutehi te rataha. So the devotees are selfless. They are trying to serve the Lord for the pleasure of the Lord. And then, as here Prahlad Maharaj not only interested in himself, but he was concerned even about his father, that he may also become liberated, and all the other jivas, the conditioned souls, paradukha. So they're unhappy seeing other people unhappy, and in the material world, even somebody may have so much opulence, but he cannot truly be happy. There's only flickering happiness in this material world. Only if one is fully surrendered to Krishna, one can experience Paramanant, the highest pleasure. And the devotees, so they are not concerned only with being satisfied themselves by serving the Lord, which is natural, but then they want to give that to others also. Hey Guru, Jnanada, Dinamandhu, Sananda Datta Karanakai Kasindu, Vrindavan Asyavatara, Prasida Radha Prachara. The spiritual master, so he's giving knowledge. He has transcendental knowledge. Jnanada is giving knowledge. He's a friend of the deen and hin, those who are destitute, those who are practically rotten in this material world. And so he has come from the spiritual world, Vrindavan, and come here for the benefit of the fallen conditioned souls, and giving his own bliss, what he has experienced, the transcendental bliss he's trying to give others, and especially also glorifying the wonderful loving exchange of Sri Radha and Krishna. Prahlad Maharaj, so offering these prayers, very beautiful prayers to the Lord for our benefit. And Nishingadev is actually in our Sampradaya also, and actually all the Vaishnavas, they will accept the different incarnations of the Lord, the Dashavatar, and they will pray to them to be relieved from the difficult situations in this world. Srila Prabhupada therefore established also every day that we should offer prayer to Nishingadev. So in the morning, after Mangalartik, in the evening time, after the Gaura Artik, so Mangalartik we worship actually Radha and Krishna. Of course, and in the evening also, but then also especially as Bhaktivinoda Thakur has given the Sandhya Artik Gita, the song, glorifying Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But after that we take shelter of Nrishingadev, because he will protect us from demoniac people, demoniac influences, and he will help us to become free from our, practically also, maybe in the beginning stage, in the conditioned stage, from the demoniac tendencies, material tendencies, lusty desires as explained here. So by taking shelter of Nishingadev, so that can be destroyed. Even if we may have so many difficulties in the conditioned state, according to our purva samskar, our previous impressions, or due to sinful activities performed in the past, so we may have to face difficulties in the present state. But then by taking shelter of even the different expansions of the Lord, we may be able to become relieved, free from all obstacles, and then we can properly take shelter of Sri Radha Krishna, which is the goal. So today is actually also the disappearance day of Srila Jayadev Goswami. It is not mentioned here, but it is the disappearance day of Jayadev Goswami, a great devotee of the Lord, Sri Radha Krishna. So we will also say a few words. It is very much also appropriate, and we can see everything is interconnected actually in this transcendental life, and even here discussing about Nishingadev, but then we may now discuss a few words about Jayadev Goswami, a great devotee of the Lord, and he was actually worshipping Radha Madhava. His deities, he had small deities. He was worshipping Radha Madhav. So he was born in Kendu Bilva, so that is actually just in between in Orissa or Bengal, and he was naturally actually renounced and so inclined towards spiritual life, and therefore very quickly he decided to give up everything and fully surrender to the Supreme Lord. And then he went to Jagannath Puri also, took shelter of Jagannath, as most of the Orient devotees, they are taking shelter of Jagannath. And even the Bengali devotees, they regularly go to Jagannath Puri and offer respect to Jagannath, the Lord of the universe. And so by the mercy of the Lord then, so he also got these beautiful deities of Radha Madhava, which he was worshipping outside of Jagannath Puri, in the forest there. And he was absorbed in the service of the Lord. And so not thinking of getting married, but just simply trying to serve the Lord. And then so there was also one Brahmana who didn't have any child, so he was going to Jagannath and praying to Jagannath, please, I don't have any child, and please help me this matter. So of course we go to the Lord usually simply wanting to serve Him and not for His pleasure, and we want to do what He wants us to do. But sometimes there may be some desire there, and it may be expressed also in a humble way, but always understanding if the Lord is willing. If the Lord is willing, then it may be fulfilled. But we should also not ask too much from the Lord, but we should try to serve the Lord as He wants us to serve Him. So, but this Brahmana, so he was worshipping Jagannath, but he was married, he didn't have any child, and especially in India, you may know that it is natural that even for example, the husband and wife, they may be serving the Lord and they may not even be so much interested in having a child or not so quickly, but then the family members who may not be so much devoted to the Lord, immediately will ask, where is the child? Where is the child? So he was concerned also, I'm married now and I don't have any child. So then he came to Jagannath and he expressed his dilemma. And then he was saying also, and I will get the child, I will actually surrender the child to your lotus feet. So then, in due course of time, actually his wife became pregnant, and then a girl was born, and he called her Padmavati. And then she grew up, and then actually some things happened in his life, and then, because actually he had forgotten also that he promised he will offer his daughter to Jagannath, to the lotus feet. Then he realized at a certain point that, yes, I promised to Jagannath. And he went to Jagannath with his daughter and ready to offer her to the lotus feet of Jagannath. And then Jagannath actually told him that you go back home now, and then when she's of marriageable age, then you will bring her again to me. So which he did, and then when he was of marriageable age, then actually Jagannath appeared to him also in dream and told him that he should offer his daughter to one of his great devotees, Jayadev. So then he went and found Jayadev and then asked him to please accept his daughter. And then Jayadev, he said, no, I'm serving the Lord, Radha Madhav. I'm not interested in household life. So I want to simply be engaged in the service of the Lord. And anyway, I don't have anything. How I can take care then of your daughter? It is not possible. You try to find somebody else for your good daughter. Then the father actually told him, but Jagannath told me that I should offer my daughter to you. And then Jayadeva Goswami said, well, he didn't tell me anything, so you can go. Please, don't disturb me. Jagannath didn't tell me anything. But then after, in a dream also, Jagannath told him to please accept this very wonderful girl. And then, so then he accepted, and she was actually also, of course, a great devotee already. So Purva Samskar is there, by which one can very quickly advance in spiritual life. Otherwise it may take some time. But still in the association of the pure devotees, even unqualified person from a low background, materially speaking, he may quickly advance in spiritual life by the mercy of Sri Guru, the spiritual master. So when Jayadev and Padmavati, so then they were serving Radha Mahadov very nicely and fully absorbed in that. And so near Jagannath Puri. And then afterwards, so they, by the arrangement of the Lord also, and actually, so Jagannath also told them to go to Mayapur and Narvidvip, and then they stayed actually in Champahati, so one of the pastimes places of the Lord. So he resided there, and then he actually wrote a very famous book, Gita Govind. And this book is actually about the wonderful loving exchange between Sisi Radha and Krishna in conjugal exchange, so which is very famous all over India, now even you may say all over the world, but especially in India, especially in Orissa, everybody knows the Gita Govind. And daily they are singing actually from the Gita Govind for the pleasure of Jagannath. So he actually appeared 300 years before the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But he was so fortunate, and because he's a pure devotee of the Lord, so he had actually darshan of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Navadvip. And later on, after completing the Gita Govind, actually Mahaprabhu told him to go to Jagannath Puri and reside there, which he did also. And then, he became very famous there in Jagannath Puri. So it is a very wonderful book, and there, so of course first the Mangalacharan is there, the introduction. And there he is introducing, of course, immediately the subject matter of the book, the Vishai. So that is mentioned also actually in the transcendental literatures by the followers of the Vedic tradition, the Vaishnava tradition, before actually writing the book. So the Mangalacharan is there, the auspicious invocation, and there the especially three things are mentioned there, that one should of pranam, of course, to the Ishtadev, and then after that Vishai, the object should be explained, what is the object of the book, the Desh, and then Ashirvad is also included in that, that the blessings will be there of the Ishtadev by reading this book. So there in the Mangalacharan, so he is offering respect to Sisi Radha and Krishna, because this book is all about Radha Krishna and their loving exchange. And then he's explaining about the also the blessings which are to be received by discussing or by reading or hearing this book. So that is the confidential pastimes of the divine couple may be manifested in the hearts of the devotees. So here we may also mention that this book is actually only for the devotees who are already advanced in spiritual life. So those who are having performed devotional service, Vaidhi Bhakti, as sadhakas, as practicing devotees, and due to performing devotional service in the sadhak sharir, so in purified consciousness, they become so free from the three modes of material nature, and then being situated on the transcendental platform, Atma Tattva, of the soul, so then they may be able to Seva Saraka Rupana, Siddha Rupana, Chatra, Hittat Bhavalipsana Karya, Vrajalokana Sarataha. As explained by Rupa Goswami, that we perform devotional service as sadhaka, following the bridge basis also, ultimately, and then on the Siddhavasta, on the advanced platform of the soul, when one is relatively free from the modes of material nature on the transcendental platform, then you may discuss this subject matter of Sri Radha and Krishna's pastimes as explained here in Gita Govind, or for example also the books of the Acharyas in our line, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's Krishna Bhavanamrita, Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, who beautifully explained about the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Chaitanya Charitamrita, and so he beautifully also discussed and related the pastimes of Sri Radha Krishna in the Govinda Lilamrita. But these books, Gita Govind, Govinda Lilamrita and Krishna Bhavanamrita, are only for those who are already well established in devotional service. But here it is a very interesting point is there I was explaining about taking shelter of the different incarnations of the Lord, especially in our case also Nishingadev. And so even here, so after the first verse of the Mangalacharan, so then he's offering also respect to other great poets, and because actually before coming to Navadvip, he was also in the court of Lakshman Sena, who was the king at that time in Bengal and Orissa. And usually the kings, they were always keeping scholarly persons to give them advice. So there were 5 actually, he mentions their names also. So they were there assisting the king, giving the king advice. So Jayadev, he was one of them, being of course a pure devotee, highly qualified Brahmana. So he was there, but at a certain point then he asked permission to leave the service, and then he came to being inspired by the Supreme Lord, by Jagannath, then by Krishna, and by Mahaprabhu. Then he came to Champahati in Mayapur Navadvip. And there, so then afterwards, so he has actually mentioned the Dasavata Stotram, which is very famous, and Prabhupada has mentioned that in the Sangbook, and on some occasions the devotees are reciting this Dasavata Stotram. But actually all the Orient devotees from Orissa, and for example here in our temple we have quite a few, and especially the pujaris who are Brahmanas, all of them, they know the Dasavata Stotram by heart. And all of them, they actually recite the Dasavata Stotram every day for the pleasure of the Lord. We have one pujari who is serving the small Radha Krishna, Panchatattva Das. So every day is reciting the Dasavata Stotram. So offering respect to the 10 incarnations which are mentioned there, the Lila avatars, Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, and then Nrishingadev. Tavakara Kamala Varenakam Adbhuta Singam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringam Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare. And then to Vamandev also, Parashudam, Lord Ram, and then Balaram, and then Buddha Avatar and Kalki Avatar. So that is there in the Mangalacharan, the auspicious invocation. So also to purify actually the heart of those who want who may not be completely pure yet, But he who may want to read or hear this wonderful book about Radha Krishna's loving exchange. And so by reading this Dashavatara Stotram, the different difficulties, they will be eradicated. As we know in India, it is well known that everyone will go to the astrologer when a child is born. Even the devotees are going. Even they join the movement, and even they surrender to Krishna, Guru Gauranga and Krishna. They have difficulties, then still they will go to the astrologer also. Although there is not really any need, except if he wants to know what is the chart of the child and for compatibility. So it may be taken into consideration, the astrology, but we don't depend on astrology. We take the help of astrology, but we depend on Krishna. And then so the different difficulties will be there according to the chart. And there's Mangal Dosh, or there's so for example the Mangal, the Mars is there, and not properly situated or whatever, maybe there the moon. So and then they will advise some puja for the graha, the different graha, Navagraha, or one of them, the Mangal Graha, the Mars planet. So in order to get relief, so that is well known. So but the devotees, they don't have to do that actually. But simply by chanting the Dashavatara Stotram, they may be relieved of all difficulties. Because actually 9 of them, except Kalki, they are in charge of the different planets. Like for example, for the Mars planet, Mangal, the Ishtadev is Nrishingadev, Bhagavan ki. So the different planets, they are in charge. They are their Ishtadev is there, the presiding deity. So Ketu is there, or Rahu, and for them the Kurma and Varaha there, and so on. And we know, of course, for the sun also, the presiding deity, that is Ramchandra Bhagavan. Although he appeared in the Raghuvamsha, in the Sun dynasty, but is actually the Lord of and is the Lord of everyone, as we know. He is Bhagavan. So he is the presiding deity of the sun planet. And of the moon, Krishna Chandra. So he appeared in the moon dynasty and is the presiding deity. And of course he is Swayam Bhagavan. Echet Samsa Kalapam Sam. Krishna's too Bhagavan Swayam. There are so many personalities of Godhead. But the fountainhead, the source of all of them, that is Yashodanandan, Krishna, Shyam Sundar, Gopinath. So, if one is fully surrendered to Guru Gauranga and Krishna, he doesn't have to accept serving the Lord and chanting the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. He may not have to do anything else. But just like, for example, if one is sick, one gets a cold, and also all the devotees, although it is said in the West, if you have a cold, you take medicine, after 7 days you will be all right. If you don't take medicine also, after 7 days you will be all right too. And even they actually have made studies of many diseases. In due course of time, they will go. And as it is mentioned in Bhagavad-Gita, the happiness and distress, the problems, they're coming and going. Just like the summer, just like the seasons. Now it is cold. And of course we have heater, warm cloth, and we're waiting for the sun to come. But we cannot change the season. We can make some adjustment. But the winter season will go, and then the spring season will be there. A little relief for a little while, and then the summer is coming here. So hot, and we need AC, but still it is tough. But it will go also, and then the rainy season is coming. They're coming and going. Diseases are coming and going. But at the same time, still we take some medicine also. But even those who are following the Vedic literatures or the Sanskrit, the culture, they will know that we are not depending on the medicine, we're depending on Krishna. Because you may take medicine, still you may die. There's no guarantee. The doctor, he cannot save you. You're supposed to die, you will die. Mare Krishna rakeke, rakke Krishna mareke. So Krishna will protect if he wants, and then nobody can kill you or nobody can harm you. Nothing can happen to you. But if Krishna wants you to be finished, then nobody can save you. So we may take medicine, but even the devotees, they will chant the Maha Mantra while taking medicine, or say the Gopal Mantra. Even they will look at the medicine. Even Ayurveda, they will offer the medicine also to Dhanvantari, those who are very strict. Those who are properly doing Ayurveda, the doctors, the Vaidya. They know the herbs, everything is given by the Lord. Dhanvantari has also given the scripture by which we can get the remedies for all difficulties. So we take the help of Ayurveda, and the Vastu Shastra is there, how to build a building, and that is very helpful. And so astrology also is helpful, but we don't depend on that. We take the help, but we always depend on Krishna. And we take shelter of Krishna. So then we are actually safe. But still, so if there's some difficulty there, and we take medicine, or if the planets are not properly situated, then we may chant the Dashavata Stotram every day. And we may do a puja, special puja, a yagya, and offering oblations to the Dashavatar. And then there may be some relief there. So in this way, if we approach the Supreme Lord in this way, then we become cleansed of all misgivings, of all difficulties, and then we may be properly situated on the transcendental platform, and then we may be able to ultimately, and we are supposed to ultimately, relish these pastimes, especially between Radha and Krishna. Nikunja yuno ratikeli siddhaya yali bir yuktira pekshaniya tatatidaksha tatyavalabhasya vande guru sri charanaravindam. So the spiritual master is there in Nikunja Lila. What is the Nikunja Lila? So that is the loving pastimes of Radha and Krishna is there. So the spiritual master is there, but not in this form like we see Prabhupada here. That is the Acharya Swarup. But he's there in the Gopi Swarup, and he's serving Radha and Krishna. So if you want to join the spiritual masters in our line, and Prabhupada has explained most of the acharyas in our line, they're actually in the Madhurya Bhav, in the Gopi Bhav. Yeah, confirmed here. Hare Krishna, 9 times. 3 times 3. So yes, because Prabhupada has explained, the previous acharyas have explained. And so that is the goal, but it is not so easy to attain that goal, and but we try our best. So then, of course, a beautiful description is there for those who are qualified, or maybe, hopefully all of you also, later on in life, you may be able to relish after having read all of Prabhupada's books. First you have to read Bhagavad-Gita, the whole Srimad Bhagavatam, the Chaitanya Charitamrita, all of Prabhupada's books, and try to understand and try to serve nicely the spiritual master and the Prabhupada and the deities, and distribute books and help others, and then in due course of time you may be qualified under the guidance of the spiritual master, with the blessings of the spiritual master, to also read the books of the previous acharyas, as Prabhupada has explained, that we should study the books of the previous acharyas. And even he has explained about Sanatana Goswami's Brihad Bhagavatamrita. Anyone who wants to know about Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Bhakta, the devotee, and Bhakti, devotional service, he must read this book. Must means we have to read eventually this book, or hear from the spiritual master. As His Holiness Bhakti Churu Maharaj, last Kartik, he was giving a seminar on the Brihad Bhagavatamrita for the benefit of the devotees, so they can get a glimpse. And there we can see also, it is in 2 parts, and both parts they are actually glorifying Braj Bhakti, the devotional service of the inhabitants of Braj, who have deep love for Krishna. So in both parts of the book it is explained. And amongst them, of course, the most exalted are the gopis, and amongst them Srimati Radharani. So that is the opinion of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he came to give this. Aradhya Bhagavan Brajeshatanya Stadhama Vrindavanam Ram Yakachit Upasana Vrajavadvarganya Kalpitaha Srimad Bhagavatam Purana Mamalam Prema Pumattamaham Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Matamidam Tatradana Paraha There is no other opinion superior to that. That our Ishtadev, that is Krishna, the son of Nanda Baba. And similarly, as worshipable is Sri Vrindavan Dham. And then the upasana, the worship of the damsels of Braj. So that is most exalted. And that cannot even, the ordinary persons, they cannot understand that. Only those who are fortunate and under the guidance of the spiritual master and have executed devotional service for a considerable time, they may be able to appreciate. So prema pumatma mahan, but this prema, that is actually to be desired, that is pancham purush art. And then Srimad Bhagavatam is the Amala Purana, so we take shelter of the Bhagavatam, so therefore every day we have the recitation of the Bhagavatam. But then eventually the literatures of the six Goswamis, they may be also studied under the guidance of the pure devotees, so we may be able to come to the highest stage of pure devotional service and then attain perfection in our spiritual life, and then we may be able to enter into the pastimes of Krishna, which is the goal of life. Hare Krishna. So, yeah, well, I will ask questions in just 1 minute. There's one more thing which is very wonderful. As he was writing this book, so in Samadhi Bhasha, so he was in Samadhi, that is the highest stage of pure devotional service, as we know. That is explained by Rupa Goswami also, and the Acharya Srila Prabhupada. And so everything was revealed to him. He was not just writing what came in his mind, but he was fully absorbed in the transcendental platform, and then the things were revealed to him by Krishna. And just like Prabhupada, he was saying, I did not write these books. Krishna wrote them. So everything Prabhupada wrote was actually inspired by Krishna himself, by Mahaprabhu himself. So similarly, the Gita Govinda, that is actually through Jayadev Goswami. Krishna himself was revealing that. And so then he was writing, and of course with tears in the eyes many times, being overwhelmed in transcendental bliss, and sometimes feeling separation. And then at one point, then he was, so he was worshipping Jagannath, and there's a little own reference there, because ultimately Jagannath is Dvakadish. Some own reverence was there. He was feeling that Krishna is the Lord, I am the servant of the Lord. But then he was in his meditation at one point, and he was writing the first line of one part, of one verse. And then he saw in his vision that Krishna was bowing down towards the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani and telling her, please put your foot on my head. And then he stopped, and how I can write that? Krishna is the Supreme Lord, and we offer our obeisances to him. We put our head on his lotus feet. How is it possible that Krishna is bowing down to the lotus feet of Radharani? That is not possible. Now I cannot write this. He was confused. And then he was thinking, but everything else I wrote being inspired by Krishna himself, I should write. And no, how I can write that? So he was perplexed. Then he thought, let me just take a bath in the river, in the Ganges river. He was in Champahati, in Mayapur Navadvip. So he went there to take bath. And then Krishna came in the form of Jayadev. And then he came to the hut they were living in, and Padmavati told, oh my dear Prabhu, you came very quickly from taking bath. Oh yes, I had to quickly finish one sentence. And then he wrote, Dehi Pada Pallavam Udaran. So that please, Krishna saying to Radharani, please put your foot on my head. So he quickly wrote that with golden letters. And then he said, okay, Devi, please bring the bhog, I will offer to Radha Madhav. So Krishna himself was offering as Jayadev to Radha Madhav, and then he said, okay, now we'll take prasad. He took prasad, and then, okay, I will take some rest. Okay. And then, as he was going in the place to take rest, then Jayadev is coming. I mean, the devotee Jayadev. And then, so asking his wife, and then he actually at that time, because always there was a system previously, first the wife will cook and then the husband will offer, and then usually we'll accept the prasad and the wife will accept after. So that was previously the system. So after Krishna, in the form of Jayadev, had eaten, then he told her, okay, now you may take. So as Jayadev, the devotee Jayadev, the husband of Padmavati, came back, then he saw that Padmavati is eating. And he was really surprised. And he was saying, you already have offered already and you're already eating? And you didn't wait for me? Usually you're always waiting. And then she was saying, but you already offered and you ate, no? And then he said, no. And of course he could understand that Krishna must have come. And he quickly went to his room where the book was, and he saw that Krishna had written himself. And then he quickly went to Padmavati and of course with tears in the eyes, and then exclaiming, oh, we are so fortunate, Krishna himself came and wrote this one line, and he explained to her. And then of course what he did, because Padmavati was already eating and he was, so then he was taking some prasad, and then that's what, anyway, different people say different things. So but some persons are saying that then he was taking also the remnants there, which Padmavati had already eaten, and usually the husband will not eat after the wife. He won't take the remnants of the wife. That was usually the culture. So then he was taking, and then she was saying, no, how you can take? Then he was saying, no, that is Maha Prasad, you're so fortunate. You're taking the remnants of Krishna. So I want to also take the remnants of Krishna, and you had darshan of Krishna himself. So this wonderful pastime is there. And then of course he completed the Gita Govind. It is towards the end, this beautiful pastime. And then after that, Mahaprabhu appeared to him again. He had appeared already before, and he told him, you should go to Jagannath Puri. And then you should recite the Gita Govind for the pleasure of Jagannath. And so nowadays they are still chanting for the pleasure of Jagannath. And so the Dashavata Stotram, everybody knows in Orissa and Gita Govind that they're regularly reciting. And for example, the Orisi dance, the dance in Orissa, which is very beautiful. Most of the persons, devotees who are appreciating music also, they will even say that the different dances are there. Bharatnatyam, Northern India, the South India, they have dance also. But they will usually say the most beautiful dance is from Orissa, the Orisi dance. And so for the pleasure of Jagannath, they will always dance for the pleasure of Jagannath. And they are taking the songs from the Gita Govind, and based on that, they're dancing also the different dances which are there. So it is really a masterpiece. It is very beautiful description of Radha Krishna's pastimes. And the Sanskrit is exceptional. And even in the classical music, it is very much appreciated. So it is really a masterpiece. And so the devotees who are a little advanced, of course, especially the advanced devotees, they are relishing as Mahaprabhu. When he was in Jagannath Puri, and during the day he was chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. But in the evening, he was discussing Radha Krishna's pastimes with his most close associate, Sarup Damodar, Rai Ramananda Roy. And there he was reading the books of three great poets. One is Chandidas and Vidyapati. And then especially Jayadeva Goswami's Gita Govind. Every day he was relishing this with his very intimate associates. So then of course, even Prabhupada, in one purport he has written that regarding these books, and of course he was mentioning Krishna Bhavanamrit. He was mentioning the advanced devotees, They are relishing this book of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the Krishna Bhavanamrit. So, but as told before, so that is only for those devotees who have read all of Prabhupada's books and who have practiced devotional service for quite some time and who are a little bit free from the three modes of material nature and fixed. Nishtha should be there. The platform of Nishtha and Ruchi, transcendental taste for chanting the holy names and for serving the Lord. Then one may, with the blessings and the guidance of the spiritual master, undertake this study of these transcendental books. Hare Krishna. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Shri Jayadev Swami ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.